Well, hello there, you're watching the official Theme Park Fans YouTube channel and welcome back to another video. So today it's 3 months to go until the Scarefest event begins at Alton Towers for 2019, and as you can see by the title, I'm going to be ranking the Scarefest mazes from worst to best. So I have done 7 mazes at the Scarefest event. I started doing the mazes from the 2014 event and right up until the 2018 event. Of course, I'll be doing the mazes for this year, but yeah, I thought I'd rank the Scarefest mazes from worst to best, seeing as I ranked the Alton Towers coasters from worst to best, the Thorpe Park coasters from worst to best, and the Alton Towers fireworks shows as well. So I thought, why not do a Scarefest edition? So without further ado, let's begin, shall we? So for my first, so the worst maze that I think I've been in is Project 42. Now, the thing with Project 42 is I feel like it's the weakest maze that I've been in so far. However, having said that, I feel it does have the potential to improve for this year. I think the reason why I didn't enjoy Project 42 last year was because there were some good parts in the maze, but I felt most of the time that there wasn't like any good scares in there, and it didn't feel intense. Like for example, because Project 42 is based in the Nemesis Subterra ride building, that bit where you come out of the elevator and to go into like the Strome maze bit, I felt like there were hardly any actors in that section, especially like the bit what used to be the little scare maze for Nemesis Subterra, you know, because they extended that bit to make it a little bit of a scare section, and there weren't any actors in there. Like, I think I might have seen 1 or 2, but that was it. But as I said, Project 42 could be improved for this year. So when I do visit for Scarefest this year, hopefully it has improved. Like as I said, I think I even said this last year. Project 42 does have the potential to be a good maze. So whether they can improve on it, I don't know. So, for my second worst maze, for Scarefest is Terror of the Towers. Now, I am going to probably get a lot of hate for this and say, like, probably you guys saying, oh, why do you hate Terror of the Towers? It's a classic maze. I do like it. Well, I did like it because it was an old maze. But because it had a classic Alton Towers Scarefest feel to it, but I just felt like, I don't know how you describe it, I felt like the scares in there weren't that good. The theming in Terror of the Towers was really good. I really liked it, and I really liked the backstory to the maze, which was, God, why can't I remember? Oh yeah, What Lies Within. Because it was about 2 urban explorers going in and they get lost, as they did every time. But it was a good backstory the first time I saw it, which was 2014. However, Terror of the Towers is returning for this year under a new name, Terror of the Towers, The Attic. So hopefully Terror of the Towers can prove me wrong this year. Hopefully it could be a free flow maze. If you don't know what a free flow maze is, think of subspecies, you know. It's not hands on shoulders. So hopefully Terror of the Towers this year can prove me wrong. So, oh yeah, the other thing I do like about Terror of the Towers is, well, what I used to like about it before, was the finale, which was a strobe maze. Like, it was a strobe section, and I really liked that, but the only time I didn't like it whenever I was leading the group, because whenever, God, I one talk. Whenever I was leading the group in Tower of the Towers in that final section with the strobe lighting, I kept like walking into the fence, and it was just really awkward. But anyway, so hopefully Tower of the Towers, the attic, can prove me wrong this year. So for the third worst maze I've gone with is the Welcoming. Now, I did like the idea of the Welcoming in its first year, which was 2017, the year before Wicker Man opened, and I really liked the idea of it, especially the middle section of the Welcoming where you were blindfolded. Oh god, not this again. Blindfolded. And that section where you were blindfolded, I think it lasted around 2 or 3 minutes, and that was good. I also liked the bit where the guy came out of the, I think it was like a volcano. It was really creepy, and I really liked that. And I also liked the fire effects at the end, the finale of the maze. But I don't think that was there last year. So, like, and also last year they took out the blindfold section, which was a bit of a shame because I pretty much enjoyed that. But apart from those 3 things I talked about, I felt it was a bit of a weak maze, and also it was an outdoor maze. So if you went for an early time slot, I think the Welcoming opened from like 5 p.m. It was still quite bright, well, not bright, but like just getting dark, and I feel like the Welcoming was better experienced in the dark, instead of during the daytime. So yeah, am I sad that it's not returning this year? Probably not, you know. Maybe they could have improved it, I don't know. So there we go, that's my third worst maze for Scarefest. Now we are moving into the top 4, and yeah, here we go then, top 4. So my 4th best maze at Scarefest is the Haunted of Molly Crow. Now, I know a lot of people didn't like the Haunted of Molly Crow, but personally, I enjoyed it. Unlike the Welcoming, you were blindfolded throughout the whole maze, apart from the finale. And I remember being in the first batch for the Haunted of Molly Crow, and before I went in, I was absolutely bricking it. I didn't know what to expect, and I was also leading the group as well, so and I was just, I wouldn't say terrified, but I don't know what the word is for it, maybe just a tad bit scared. So not fully terrified, but just a tiny bit of fear. But yeah, the Haunted of Molly Crow was an interesting route from Alton Towers, because it was the first hooded maze that they have ever done. Because before the Haunted of Molly Crow, they never had a blindfolded maze, and as I said, I thought it was interesting. And the finale for the Haunted of Molly Crow was incredible, because you actually saw Molly Crow come at you, like, I think, like, Molly Crow was in the air, like, she was on the roof, and then you had to run out, and I really like that bit of Molly Crow. And the Haunted of Molly Crow was only there for one Scarefest, Scarefest 2015, and I didn't think it would return for 2016 and beyond. However, do I think it should have returned for future Scarefests, like after Scarefest 2015? Half of me says yes, and half of me says no. Half of me says yes, because maybe they could have added some theming into it, like so. Like maybe have the blindfold section halfway through the maze or something like that. But half of me says no, purely because it was a blindfold maze, and I think, thinking about it now, I think the Haunted of Molly Crow was a budget maze at the time. But other than that, I enjoyed it. For me, it was a good maze. I know other people didn't enjoy it, but that's my opinion. So, my third best maze at Scarefest is the Sanctuary. Now, the Sanctuary was my first ever Scarefest scare maze, and I really enjoyed it. Obviously, the Sanctuary is, was themed to the Smiler. It first appeared at Scarefest in 2012, a year before the Smiler opened, and then it came back in 2013 when the Smiler opened, and it came back for the final time in 2014. No, not 2 years. 1 year after the Smiler opened, and I experienced it for the first time in 2014, and it was a really good maze. It was a really good maze. I really enjoyed the introduction from Dr. Kelman. That bit was really good. Shout out to Jerry Cannell if he's watching this. I don't think he is, but if you are, Jerry, you did a brilliant job playing Dr. Kelman. And to be honest, it was a shame that the Sanctuary didn't return in 2015. But I think it didn't return because of one reason, and we all know what that reason is. I think, what was I going to say? And I think that's why they put the Haunted and Molly Crow in to replace the Sanctuary for Scarefest 2015. I think if that didn't happen, if you know what I'm talking about, if that didn't happen, then I think the 2015 Scarefest lineup would have been Subspecies, Terror of the Towers, and the Sanctuary. But obviously, because of the events that happened and whatnot, they had to bring in the Haunted and Molly Crow. But maybe one day they could bring it back. You know, if Alton Towers do a Scarefest anniversary event, you know, maybe when we get to like, I don't know, 15 or 20 years of Scarefest, maybe they can bring back some of the classic mazes. And I would love the Sanctuary to be part of that classic maze lineup. But yeah, the Sanctuary was a really good maze. I've said that so many times now, haven't I? And yeah, hopefully one day it comes back. As I said, if Alton Towers decided to do a Scarefest anniversary event. So there we go. Now we're going into the top two mazes, and I'm going to start with the best one, and that is, of course, Subspecies. So my second best maze, my second best Scarefest maze was Altonville Mine Tours, but I'll talk to you guys in a minute about Altonville Mine Tours. But first, let's talk about Subspecies. Now, I remember when I did Subspecies for the first time in 2015, and let me tell you something. If you didn't experience Subspecies in 2015, oh my god, you missed out. It was absolutely crazy, intense. The actors got right up into your face. They pulled you. They grabbed you, pulled you. They separated you from your friends. And you had to go through the maze on your own. So no hands on shoulders. It was a free flow maze. And that first year I did Subspecies. It's something I'll never forget. And then after 2015, it's still pretty much the same, but I think they have dialed down the intensity of Subspecies. Like, don't get me wrong, it's still intense, but it isn't as intense as it was when it first appeared in 2015. But yeah, I think Subspecies will be my favourite Scarefest maze for a long time to come. I think something special has got to beat Subspecies, in my opinion, for this to happen. The theming in Subspecies is a bit, it's not noticeable really, because there are some sections in Subspecies where it's really dark, but I think I'm the kind of person who looks for the scares, you know, and how intense the actors are with you. So yeah, Subspecies, my number one maze. So now I'm gonna talk to you guys about Altonville Mine Tours, which is my second best Scarefest maze, and I really enjoy Altonville Mine Tours. I love the theming for Altonville Mine Tours, and I feel like if Autumnville Mantles was on the same level as Subspecies in terms of scares and actors like grabbing you and pulling you, then I'm going to have to say Autumnville could potentially be my favourite maze. The theming for Autumnville is really good. It's incredible. But it's just the scares, in my opinion, that it just doesn't beat Subspecies. But I feel like as I said just a few seconds ago, if Subspecies, no, not Subspecies, what am I saying? If Autumnville Mantles had those level of scares that you get in Subspecies, I think it'd be my favourite maze. But yeah, there are some good sections I enjoy in Autumnville Mantles. You got the introduction from, God, I can't remember. It was the sister of someone. I can't remember now. God, I'm gonna have to go to Scarefest this year and find out for you guys. But yeah, I don't know what I was talking about there. But there we go. So those are my Scarefest mazes ranked from worst to best. Do you agree with me? Do comment below ranking your Scarefest mazes from worst to best. And obviously this list doesn't include the Field of 1,000 Screams, the Boiler House, the Carnival of Screams, because unfortunately I never got to do those mazes. But as I said, if Alton Towers do an anniversary Scarefest event, like in a few years' time, and if they bring back Carnival of Screams, the Boiler House, the Field of 1,000 Screams, then I would absolutely love to do them. Oh, and also you had Room 13 as well, so maybe they could do that. I don't know. So there we go, guys. I really hope you have enjoyed this video. So if you have, do give it a like. Be sure to subscribe if you are new around here. It feels weird not saying we are so close to 1,000 subscribers because this channel now has 1,000 subscribers. Yay! Don't forget to check out our Facebook page. As always, our Facebook page link is in the description below, so please go and check that out and give it a like. The next video, I'm not sure when it will come out, but probably sometime next week. I'd say somewhere between Tuesday and Friday, so I'm going to have to think up a new video idea to bring up for you guys, so look out for that. And yeah, that's it really. So don't forget to rank your Scarefest mazes from worst to best in the comments below. You might agree with me, you might not agree with me. It'll be really interesting to see different opinions on what you think of the mazes at Scarefest. And I might have to update this list when I do Terror of the Towers, the Attic, and see where that ranks. So that will be my 8th Scarefest maze. I'm Wood on you. Thank you for watching, Theme Park fans, and it's time to close the video now. Bye guys, thanks for watching.